about the people. Councillor Tiawan Gongloe participated in the 2023 election. He ran for president. He didn't win. He was stand-up bearer on the ticket of the Liberian People's Party, the LPP. He's been very critical of the government in recent time. When Joseph Boakai was forming the government, there were a lot of speculations he would have been justice minister. When vacancy existed on the bench of the Supreme Court, a lot of people thought he would have been one of the associate justices. Boakai did not look his way. He's here. Councillor Gongloe, I'd like to say good morning, and it's good to have you. You put in a lot of weight.
That's true. People tell me that I don't look at myself.
Yeah, you put in a lot of weight.
But that means I'm relaxed. I'm not worried. You know, I'm doing a lot of exercises.
Do you exercise?
Oh, a lot. I do 230 push-ups every morning.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm not.
230?
I am serious. 230. I did 230 this morning. And it's good for those who are listening to me. It takes me away from going to the hospital. I have no ankle pain, no knee pain, no back pain. I feel like I'm 25 years old. In fact, I turned 68 this year, and as on the radio, I've subtracted 40 years. I'm actually 28 functionally. You can be old and not experience the negative effect of aging if you exercise. Then you can have wisdom but not have the physical challenges. So I'm happy, and I'm advertising it.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
I do something called comprehensive jumping jack. If you do 10 of it, you got to be strong. But yeah, but let me, I gave a speech last week. I'm sure it's becoming the new expression in town. What kind of country is this? It's like Dr. Wilcoll's speech of 1984 at the LPP headquarters. Strange things are happening. So, what kind of country is this? And many things. You say, I'm critical of the government. I have a moral authority to make sure this government performs. Because I was the first politician. My party was the first political party to pledge support to the Unity Party when there were two parties remaining in the race. Obviously, people were asking, I don't know why they were doubting who I would support, because I had said in my campaign statement that CDC had carried the country to ICU. So I could not have supported the country, the party that had taken the country to ICU. Obviously, the party was the other party. So we did that, and we were pledging support to Unity Party. We said, we gave you 100 days. After that, we will be critically examining you on the basis of our 10-point agenda.
Okay, we'll come to all that. How's the Liberian People's Party?
It's still a vibrant party. Fortunately, it's at the table. We have a man, we have some people in the government, and we are examining them every day. I just met my former running mate this morning. We had breakfast, just find out how things are. I share my experiences in government with him, and I keep telling him, you are at ground zero, the beginning point. From here, you can be minister, you can be vice president, you can be president, you can be everything. It begins from here, and it's doing very well. Even me, I thought EPA was an obscure entity, like something like NGO, somewhere nobody knew about. But now EPA has become a strong law enforcement agency, enforcing environmental law. I'm very proud of him. He's really showcasing LPP, and we can tell people that is the government that we're going to deliver to.
I saw him lead one of the sections at the General Assembly on the Salam, and I sat by listening to his articulation and making Liberia's case. I think he's doing well.
He is doing extremely.
Where's this old man? Every time I talk to you, I usually ask for this man who I interviewed in Zozo the other time. He's very articulate.
Flomo Kokolo.
Flomo Kokolo. How is he? Is he still in Zozo?
He's probably listening to all this money. He's great. He's in Zozo.
Wow.
And he's teaching chess to young people.
Oh, he played chess.
Yeah, he's a chess professor, champion of chess. When you went to St. Patrick's those days, chess and all,
Where are your other friends? Dusty Wolokoli and
Yeah.
John Stewart.
Dusty is here, John Stewart is here, Yasu Wedole here. All these people are here. And we don't write a lot, but these are reservoirs of Liberian history, where we are coming from. That's why I would say today, what kind of country is this? Because the same problem that we are faced with today are the problem that we've been tackling from the 1970s. And change is not coming. I don't know what I should say. I sympathize with the president also, or I'm surprised at him, because he seemed to be surrendering to the problem. He said, nothing in place. He points out the problem is being.
We'll come there right now. There right now.
But I want to go to the information you started with about, you thought be Minister of Justice on the Supreme Court bench.
In fact, let me ask you this way.
Let me
Since the president became president of the country, has he tipped you for anywhere? Has he called you to say, Gongloe, I want you to serve this?
That's the question I'm coming to. I always say I'm loyal to my country and my conscience, and I'm guided by certain principles. One of those principles is, creating new leaders, training. That's why I teach in the law school, I teach at police academy, other places, magistrate school. People. After the election, I went to see the president with my running mate. The vice president was there. And I said, Mr. President, before we start the conversation, let me advise you. I said, Mr. President, you are old. The Liberian people, to give them hope, they want some young people to come on board to help you. Don't bring back old ministers.
You said that.
I said, don't bring back old ministers. It will not be good for your government. I said, those who were deputy ministers under President Salif or President Weah or even assistant ministers who did so well should be sorted out and appointed. What that would do to the other young people is that, if you do well, you can be promoted, you can be elevated. But the old ministers have no new ideas to bring. Bring new ministers, new people on board. You be the only old person in this government. I got you saying that, and he said, but I want to make you my Minister of Justice. I said, Mr. President, maybe you didn't listen to me. Myself, I'm an old minister. I just told you, don't bring back old ministers.
He told you that he wanted you to become Minister of Justice.
Right after I had advised him. I said, don't bring back old minister. He said, yeah, but I want to make you my Minister of Justice. I said, I didn't say, except me, don't bring back old ministers. I don't behave like that. That would have been so selfish. And I said, I can suggest names to you. Brilliant lawyers who love the country, honest. Some of them even have higher degree than I have in law. But they're young, 40s, 50s. He said, okay, recommend. I did. But he didn't take that person. But I'm happy that he took another brilliant lawyer who has never been in government. At least, man not being Minister of Justice has given another Liberian lawyer a chance to showcase his talent, and his love of country, his dedication. Councillor also to a brilliant lawyer, graduate from Harvard with master's degree, has been practicing law from as far back as 1987. He graduated from law school before me. He's there. If I had taken that position, he would not have had the opportunity.
Even though not young.
He's younger than me.
Okay.
But he's younger than me. Yeah, he's younger than me. So he's young. He's brilliant. He left school early. But he's younger than me. He went to law school before me. So yes. So we cannot be selfish. You see, I always give the parable that if the second grade students don't pass to third grade, and where will the first grade students go? You gotta have a flow, not a stock. In this country, you have some people who serve Tobo government, Doe government, Taylor government, Ellen government. We cannot have that.
People say they're experienced, so we need to get them around.
That type of, okay, you experience, all my experience I have as Minister of Labor, I can advise Copper Cry if you ask me, you know, you don't have to be in government to share the experiences that you have. Look, I work with the president, Dr. Amos Sawyer. He used to call Councillor Clarence Simpson, Councillor Finlay, Councillor Henry Cooper, Cyril Jones' father, the late Momo Jones, Ambassador S. Edward Peel. We were faced with peace process, Taylor in Banga, and all the. You called them to dinner table. And I can tell you, for all the people he used to call, they were so happy that President called them to hear their views about governing the country.
Sawyer did that.
He did that many, many times. I learned that from him. He was always consulting. And so you don't have to be in government. Councillor Finney had been a judge. He had been a senator. Councillor Clarence Simpson had been Attorney General. He had been Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. As Edward Peel, retired ambassador. All these people. And he was getting wisdom from just, I don't see anybody in the world, even in fact, in Liberia, even the worst opponent, when president calls you, they can be happy to go there. Minister call you and say, I want to know people. So you don't have this idea that experienced people must be in government before. That's a bit selfish, though. You must be in government before you can share your experience with the people who are there now. It's wrong. I don't believe that. I'm prepared to share my experience anytime with my friend. In fact, when also a point I went there, and I said, I work in this justice ministry at a tough time. I was acting Minister of Justice. I was Solicitor General. When I came here, there was only one other trained lawyer in the whole of the Republic. And all the people I had were quack lawyers who the American attorney prosecutors. I only had the late Samuel Jacobs. I had to think out of the box, contacted Mill. They gave me money. I hired private lawyers and paid them $800 a month. And they were being paid by Mill to work for us part-time, not to take any criminal case on the defense side, but they can do their civil cases because the money was too small to pay a lawyer. We did that for about 2 years. Some of them got, they started lacking prosecution. And I then I told the Minister of Justice, you got to tell the president to pay the lawyers at least $1,500, and we'll get 3 lawyers to be county attorneys in the 15 counties. She said, every day in the cabinet, president can talk, but no money. So unless you go talking, I say, yeah, well, I'd rather go. I went there. I talked to the president recognized me. I talked. I said, every regime has a key agenda. Top had integrated rural development, and therefore, as an agenda, so when people used to graduate from engineering school, civil engineering, you get one twin cabin pickup, $900. I'm talking about in the 70s, right? Starting salary. So your own that to strengthen the peace process, you cannot strengthen the peace process without rule of law. But the agents of rule of law must be trained. So you need to strengthen prosecution to get county attorneys who are law school graduates to be all over the country. Minister McIntyre, your Minister of Planning, he said, you finish winning me. The other minister, yeah, SG, you got your case. The next budget, they put money, they started paying the county attorneys $1,200, one cabin a twin cabin pickup, a laptop, one generator, and prosecution fund. For the big county, 1,000, small county, 500. Prosecution started going on all over the county. Before that time, knowledge is power. All of the county attorneys who were now law school graduates, I used to get over 50 calls a day. SG, you see the police commander in the county doesn't respect me when I tell you something, he can't do it. SG, the immigration man can't respect me. The other person can't respect me. When I replaced them with law school graduates, I never got one complaint. You got a policeman, no, probably a high school graduate. He's a police commander. He would rather come into the law and say, what kind of charge should we put on the president? They were learning from them. Everything became cool. So I told them, I said, we want you now. You don't have much problem because this Ministry of Justice is full of, trained lawyers. Some of them got master's degree that you came to work with.
Have you ever had any other meeting with Boakai again since he set up the whole government and the government started working now?
Yeah. When Mr. Wilson Tapper filed a prohibition against the EPA, against the government of Liberia, I participated in the case, and on one of the occasions we had the chance of meeting the president. But meeting the president is not easy. Now it is President Bakai's call. When he called me, midnight 7 I go, that president, I told you president called, I work with president. And people used to call. Even Charles Taylor used to call me. My number was number 17. Drummond Nelson sorted me out. He used to call civil society and other leaders in the society and meet with them at the power of the executive mansion and say, what you have to say, and say the national problem, the thing that you're facing and what to do, just to get ideas because, as president, you alone can't have all the ideas.
Councillor Gongloe, you've been very critical of the Boakai regime in recent days. What have you seen? What is it that the president is not doing that you thought he would be doing?
When I was campaigning, I said a lot of things. One of them was the salary disparity in this country. And only the president can put a bill before the legislature and they can change it. It is insane. It doesn't make sense to me that the speaker, the president pro tem, these are the salaries I know. I don't know the president's salary, the vice president's salary. But the way I know that, because in the budget they say the elected official, and for the speaker budget, he's the one that elected official. The president pro, the elected official. President pro tem makes $254,000 straight salary, apart from
a month.
No, per year. Per annum, apart from other benefits. That comes to like $21,000 or so per month. But take a teacher's salary. Take a nurse. The nurses now are making below $400. So let's say $300. That's going to take 7 to 8 years to get 1 month's salary.
Some of them be around 180, 160.
So you can't have a situation where somebody with a degree who is working as a nurse or a police officer will take 7 to 8 years to make a person 1 month's salary. It just doesn't make sense. It violates the Constitution because they say people should work under humane and equitable conditions and all of that. That can be changed by the president. And that should be one of the things you put when he puts it before the legislature and reduce the salary gap between the legislature, the ministers and heads of government agencies, and these full set of people, nurses, teachers, law enforcement officers, the low-level civil servants, to reduce the salary gap. If the other people don't do it, at least we'll be saying the president is championing change. That has not happened. And that salary disparity goes on. Now, the other thing is, and I'm campaigning for this, government of inclusion. Somebody, I don't like the excuse, I talk to some people, they say, but it didn't happen in the past. In 1972, the executive law, section 10.2, you look at it now. It says, as much as practicable, the president of Liberia shall not appoint one cabinet minister from each of the counties. Now, I think when they say, the law says, as much as practicable, I think it meant, are there educated people in that county enough for these positions? Today, in every county, now, after that law passed in 1972, immediately following that, and the law passed against the background that the interior counties that were created at that time, there were 9 counties, Nema, Bon, Lofa, and Granji that were created in 1964. But at that time, there were not so many educated people. By 1972, so many people with bachelor degree, master degree were coming from these counties. And the lawmakers sat and said, you know what happened? We got to include people in the governance of the country. We got to let that the executive can draft the budget. Then everybody get involved. So as soon as that law passed, President Tobo appointed Jackson F. Doe, who was in the House of Representatives as Minister of Education from Nimba. He appointed Jinwal Barbier from Bong County as Minister of Defense. He appointed Choho Paha from Grand Jede as Minister of Post and Telecommunication, and then appointed Edward Bian Keseli as Minister of Information. Everybody was happy. The government, the country.
Okay, the newly created counties.
Yes.
Immediately he appointed
Yes.
when the law passed.
They didn't come from the old county. He appointed them from the new counties. Because the 5 counties along the coast already were running the government. The people from there were running the government. That shows sensitivity. You responded. And if Talbot could find it practicable in 1974-75 to appoint people, I think is more than practicable now, because there's no county in Liberia that does not have at least 5 master degree holders. And there are more than that. PhDs and all that. Government inclusion. When the president of Running, in fact, when he took over in inaugural address, he said he will form a government of inclusion. Immediately when he started forming the government, I read an article, it was published in the, I think, front page and another newspaper. I said, yeah, the formula for government of inclusion. That's the law. You took an oath to obey, defend, promote, and execute the constitution and statute laws of Liberia. So that is a contribution I was making.
You think the inclusion is not reflected in the government?
Let me quote Senator Amara Connor, an insider. He was very strong in getting this government elected. He said, right after the appointment, he said there are 8 counties that are without ministers. 8, including his own.
Bapolu doesn't have a minister proper?
Unless you need one.
No.
But for Southeast Liberia, for example, I only know of the Minister of Justice and the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. And both of them come from Sino. So what happened to the 5 other counties? So, I mean, that's the thing. And it has to be addressed. Somebody say, oh, the president is about to shake up the government. I have a critical view on that. I told President Salih before, because she used to give press conference and say, I will soon reshuffle my government. Who does that? Why are you giving notice to people who are not performing what somebody corrupt to take their last eating?
You think you should
It should be
there's an element of surprise you should come with.
That's the only thing that even your special assistant should not know.
As president?
Yes.
Some of your actions.
Especially the dismissal. Appointment you can consult. But dismissal, especially when people are eating money and all that, that one Doe guy, on the 2 o'clock news, you have lunch. You are dismissed. You come outside your travel, say, Chief, I see you. You're carrying the car because you're not minister again. That scares other people not to perform badly. No notice. No government, no president should give notice.
You think President Bouaka is lenient with his people?
Just by giving them notice, sir.
I mean, that's your rumor. I'm not sure the president will tell anybody, I come in Muyo, I come in shape to you.
We should not take, when the press secretary of the president speaks, that rumor.
Did she speak? I didn't listen to her.
Yes. She said. I listened to her this morning.
What did she say?
She said the president is going to take some actions to, he has listened to the people of Liberia, and there's going to be some shakeup. So, press secretary statement.
Councillor Gongloe, let me ask you a straightforward question.
But the other thing I want to talk about, and because of the parents, my children are grown up, I'm taking care of other children. This thing about graduation fees does not make sense. It has to. I'm calling upon the president to issue one executive order.
You think so?
Get rid of the graduation fees. I paid graduation fee at SD, I think a year ago, $680 for a young man that was doing public health. I didn't even know how much I paid. I was just asking him yesterday, how much I paid, because, he said that Daddy, that's $680 you pay. I said, what, for graduation fees? That's more than the school fee that is paying Rwanda per year for a university student. That doesn't make sense. What happens on graduation? I want somebody to go on the radio and justify a graduation fee. Because on graduation day, Clarence, it doesn't take more than 3 hours, sometimes even 2 hours. The only expense that you go, there are two items that you spend money on actually. If you don't have sound system, to borrow one. If you don't have enough chairs, to rent some chairs. You don't cook food for the students and the parents. You don't do anything else. So why should
You think the president should issue an executive order
and just get rid of that
graduation fees?
immediately?
You mean in grade schools now?
Everywhere, including the university. I didn't pay graduation fee at the university. He and I graduated from the same university, graduated before me, University Library. We pay graduation fee there. In fact, school fee when I went to university was $37.50 per year, per semester. $75 a whole year. If the senior class want to do their project, they want the ring, that's their business. School is not involved in that. It's wrong. Now people are paying $75, sometimes for kindergarten school, US. In an economy that is so bad off. It's like, you're telling people not to send children to school. And going to education is a right. Where our constitution says so. It's wrong. It should be that one of the things that President Boga should change immediately. He will have an impact among the parents in this country. Because some people, they threaten, if you don't pay the graduation fee, you will not graduate. So many people don't even have graduation party. They say, I've been paying $680 or I've been paying $400. One student I helped with graduation fee, I contributed. I asked him, Mr. John Mobile, how much you pay for graduation fee at early days here? He said, $460. I said, how come? He said, $380 to the university itself. Then I pay $80 to the business college. For what? It's wrong.
You would have aborted that if you were president?
Immediately. Because it's unnecessary burden.
Let's talk a little bit about the president's vow to fight corruption. Do you think the president is intentional about it? Is he taking some actions and steps, in your opinion?
Well, some people from the old government are being indicted and actions are being taken. But his credibility will be strengthened by action taken against his own people.
You think so?
That is where, it's easy to deal with outsiders. When you're dealing with your own people, then they say, you see, President Talbot had all his problems. But I can tell you one thing that made him respected. He signed a death warrant for William Talbot, one of the younger members of his family who was named after him. He killed his wife. They went to court. The court found him guilty. Supreme Court affirmed. And in 1978, President Talbot signed a death warrant for William Talbot. Presidential positions for tough decisions. I told President Salif one time, she used to say, the government for you and myself, all these scary people, I only 2 hours went to jail. But that did not becloud my judgment, to be critical of her. She came to my house twice to visit my mom, or Solicitor General. She didn't go to some ministers' houses. So I know that she was close to me. But my commitment is to Liberia more than anything else. So one day she called me. She was reviewing ministers in 2010. They forgot about me. I had to call Ms. Cooper. I said, Ms. Cooper, I'm minister too. And when she said, oh, I can review ministers, then they review me. But I forgot, but you can't get much on you. Your hand in the cookie jar and your PRS, Poverty Reduction Strategy project report is good. And they say you are the first to go to labor ministry, you are the last to leave. So I don't get nothing here, but there's review. When I review you, then you review me. So when you got me, I said, I got plenty of things on you.
You told the president
that? Look, citizens that go to jail for the country and citizens who have never been to jail are two different people in character. I've been to jail many times. I've passed through death many times. And I know how over 300,000 people die in this country because of bad governance stimulated by corruption and greed. So I don't compromise, speaking for Liberia. I said, Madam President, there are too many big people in your government who are extremely corrupt, but you're doing nothing about them. I say you brought your family members and friends into the government. You met your side of the bargain. Their side of the bargain is to make your government perform well, and not to steal. Why are you holding back when they are not meeting their side of the bargain? They're making your government look bad. I say people down Waterside know that there are barracudas in this government. But you went and suspended Swasi Genesis from Ministry of Post and Telecommunication, assistant minister, because of allegation that he can give power to the neighbors of Ministry of Post and Telecommunication and take the money and put it in your pocket. It is bad for true. But the people down with us, I don't even regard that one there. The big people who are close to you, who are undermining your government, are the one that when you take action against, people will say, yeah, you're serious. Then I gave her the top example. I said, you're a minister in top government. You are here with Tobo San, death warrant for a man who had the same name with him, a namesake, William Talbot. By dismissing your friends and relatives, you are not doing anything wrong. You are just showing your commitment to Liberia and respect for the rule of law, the oath of your office. So you should do that. You shouldn't let, all these things that are going on. When you say you can speak manner, but in manner they say blah blah blah. You keep dodging small little mud here. You say, let me pass on the side. When you pass there 2 days, it become mud. And you say, let me pass on the side.
Everywhere you got a mud coming.
So corruption is not anything to compromise on. You can't be selective in the fight against corruption.
If you were privileged to see Joseph Boakai today, tonight, or tomorrow, what is that thing you will say to him again?
Oh, I would say the immediate pain that the family people are going through. Mr. President, issue an executive order, get rid of graduation fee. Reform your government to reflect the country. Have a government of inclusion by law. The law made it easier for you. So if you get rid of some people, you say, I'm starting a new day in Liberia. I want every country to have that one cabinet position, and there are more than 15 cabinet posts. The remaining one, you want to carry out to Wasanga, that's fine. But let every country have their one minister. Because that they're right. The law says so. Then the next thing, he should deal with his salary disparity. He should state his salary. According to the executive law of 1972, the president's annual salary was $36,000. It's by law. It should be by law. It's not by law that way you don't know a journalist. I don't know. It should be written. We should read it. But it is not $36,000 now. We want to know the new one because I read it from the executive law. The president, vice president's salary in 1972 was $12,000 a year. If it is not that way, we want to know that our right to know. And that time we didn't have the new constitution that says at Article 15C, the people of Liberia have a right to know about their government and its functionaries. Why did they say so? Because the people of Liberia are the employers of the people in government collectively. So you cannot employ someone and don't know the person's salary, yet the person is taking pay. Then something is wrong with you. It is our right to know. So I would tell him, publish your salary, publish the salary of everybody in government. It will help the civil society to say, you know what, the gap is too wide. Because when I'm saying it, sometimes people don't know. But if all the salaries were on the executive mansion website, everything can go on the executive mansion website. Why we don't know the president's salary, vice president, chief justice, the president pro tem, the speaker, all the lawmakers, all the ministers, assistant ministers, the heads of public corporation, we should know their salary. It's not something we should look for. Because by law, it used to be published.
Do you think the government is doing a lot to fight drug?
No, I said before that the government should attack the supply side.
The supply side.
If one drug passes the airport and you arrest a person in town and you trace to the airport, somebody should be fired at the airport. If it passes through any land border, somebody should be fired. When that happens, they will do their work. The drugs are not coming through the people's farms. They are coming through regular lawful borders, airports, and the land borders of this country. So it's a rule of law issue. It's a law enforcement issue. You can go to West Point and get some people. Stop it. If it is not here, our children will not use it. So for me, the supply side is the place to go. Don't let it come in. So
did you listen to the president when he got back to the country from the UNGA?
I listened to him partially, but you dealt with it sufficiently yesterday.
You think so?
That I got to know. Because you see, I mentioned just the UN thing. When you read my speech, what kind of country is this? On Friday, I said, inside this country here, we elected people to solve problems, and they speak on the opposition leaders, like civil society activists, like other people who are just pointing things out, or journalists. They are identifying problems. The Speaker of Liberia, of the House of Representatives, went to America. Liberia is corrupt. The country is corrupt. What are you doing about it? We know, but we put them there to solve the problem. The president comes and says, nothing in order. The Secret Service, you see them doing their work, all the other people are doing that, nothing in order. We elected you to put it in order. We don't want to hear that anymore. You go to South Korea and say, when you get trained people, but you can get trained people, you want people to invest in your country, then they'll bring all the foreigners. Train people. What is in the budget for MVTC, for example? That the Chinese, we need yellow machine operator. One labor minister, I gave one company a hard time. I say, I am not issuing work permits to your drivers, to your this, to your that, until you advertise for 1 month in the newspaper online. I'll read them. After 1 month, making the only yellow machine operators we could find are those who are working bomb mines, Lamco, and they are in the late 60s. They are past retirement age. Well, compared to the company had been given authorization to operate in Liberia, were forced under the circumstances to issue work permit to them because Liberians not qualified, so they were not taking Liberian jobs. We need to train people. OMBE started during the demobilization. They are small schools. Government should have continued. If government didn't continue under President Sali or under President Ria, one of the signs of rescue that lack of training was to start putting money into training. No nation can develop without education. I mean, you have to invest in education. And it doesn't mean just going to school and learning mathematics and all that, but we need our mechanics, we need our builders, we need more nurses, we need all these people.
Do you worry about the future of your former running mate in your critique of the government?
No.
Probably that he could be fired because he can't be in the government. Tiawan Gongloe continues to criticize. Do you think about that?
That would be so. I have a share. I'm a shareholder in the government. Without the votes of LPP, United Party would not have won. So I don't owe anybody an apology. And they will be wronging him. In fact, now they need him more because he's one of the shining stars in the government. When the poor judge the government from outside and they say the Boaga government is doing, he is one of the shining stars, if not the brightest of them. Because now everybody knows about EPA. Yesterday, he found one company. Because you see, he's not, being selective. Can you imagine to find China Union? China, all the Chinese companies are linked to the Chinese government. So to find China Union, not an easy thing. But they succumbed. They said, oh, they might say, okay, we'll obey the law. We'll pay some, and we beg you will not repeat what we did. We'll regularize our people. We'll pay the other one. Other people follow. I told him this morning, I say, you are making your work easy. Because when you start like that, you're going. A lot of people will not come to you with decent proposals. And let me tell you, without him telling me, I know that when you take kind of actions, people are coming to try you with bribery here and abroad, everywhere. But in this first year, it shows no inclination to take bribe. They will not try. Next time, it will be easy. I know that.
You think Bouaka is comfortably seated and probably could be one of our best presidents to get things started, to get things done, to change things around?
Yes. I'm beginning to wonder. You know, we're campaigning for President Sele. We say, look at the old lady. That one time she will come there. But in less than 1 year, I started having different feeling. Because I was prosecuting Judy Bryan order, and by the way, I was the first lawyer to ever prosecute a former president. And at that time, I'm prosecuting the sitting speaker, Snow, and all these people, right? And I will hear from the president. But when the prosecution, the case will be also we can do the political thing. I started thinking, what is the political thing?
Oh, because you thought she was just going for one round.
Yes.
One term, rather.
So she was going to be tough, right? When you go for one term, tough. She started changing. The first 3 months of President Saleh government, no sign of corruption. People were telling me, they say that the revenue honor Ministry of Finance, they say, oh, Canada, the country change, we go pay our tax. When they work, they put our finance working good. We take $5 and say, thank you, my dear sister, my brother, for helping me. They say, no, I beg you at a different time. Until they started hearing change, different things. Then they say, oh, but the thing is simple now. So I asked, what is the political thing? And one insider told me, the president want to get the people in lab and all the people, back on board and all that. And when the prosecution still so long, it means that it was going to be found guilty immediately, or going to be pardoned. I started feeling that way. I said, and then my suspicion was right, because in the end, after I left government, the president ran. When you're thinking about running,
what are you driving at?
I want President Bouaka. It appears that President Bouaka is going to run in the next election because he's behaving like that. He's compromising. He's behaving. He wants to be loved by everybody. He doesn't want to step on toes. If he really wants to change, he must forget about running next term. If he's going to run the next term, or he has the inclination to do it, nothing will change.
You think so?
Nothing will change.
But you could still do the right thing and run and win.
Don't even say that in there. If it is possible. You can do the right thing and win. The late dean of law school misspoke one time when he said, everybody come here bribing judges, take the bribe and stay do the right thing. The county, people getting jobs and different. Corruption is not only taking money, it's nepotism, it's sectionalism, it's tribalism. All these. Additions have got to undermine good governance.
You say, from the way things are, it seems as though President Bouaka is nursing an ambition again. That's why he's skeptical.
I've already reached that conclusion that the way he's behaving, unless he changes, he's going to run next election. Unless he comes out and say it to Clarence Jackson, call a big conference. Let me tell every Liberian, people in my government, that I don't intend to run again. Therefore, if you take any misstep, I'll take action, because I don't need vote. I'm challenging you.
Tiawan Gongloe is the political leader of the Liberian People Party. He's challenging President Bouaka to be clear as to whether he will run next election or not, because he says there are signs that President Bouaka may likely be running again in 2029. That's the reason why he's slow, or he's not decisive about some of the decisions he is supposed to be taking. As we speak, I am sure the president's cabinet meeting probably has started or is about to start, because I know he's having a cabinet meeting today. Let's talk to caller
cabinet retreat
0777 700-995 0555-026-995 OKFM 99.5 and OKTV. You're listening to the OK Morning Rush right here at Councillor Gongloe. is here as our guest. Let's take our first call right here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Barry, and good morning to my political leader. Yeah, my name is Marty Vismo calling from Happy Corner Downwater side. And guess what my political leader saying? The president have an intent 2029 to contest because a government official is corrupt and he not taking action. But where President Bogas will suspend the former minister, the public work minister, and but he's not doing anything on corruption. So just what my political leader is saying. The president has an attempt to run 2029. So thank you for the time.
Okay.
The law, the councilor, thank you so much. I thank you. You just diagnosed like you're a problem and you also provide a solution. But I want to ask you if you were asked to serve in any strategic position.
Old now. Most on young people there.
Okay, what's about maybe the war code or something? Because the thing is that I think a councilor said he's old, but I don't think he has a lot to offer this country, even if not on an advisory role or some kind of strategic position. And what will he do if he sees the continued missteps that we're seeing? Will he sort of ask his vice presidential running mate to resign from the government to save his image and his party image as well? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Let me take this call online.